Hello everyone, welcome back to another Pandas Essential video. Today we're going to be over grouping and aggregating. So it's one of the most powerful tools in Pandas. This is how we go from raw rows. So we might have rows and our columns into actual summaries. Like total revenue, or per category, X per category, or any averages. So group by is very, very powerful. In group by, we can implement split apply. Here we have a table where it's people and their genders and their attendees. So there's one attendees, or maybe they could have two attendees. How many people they brought along. That's what this little data set is right here, the series data set. We can implement this by split data by its keys. So we can have the people column and we can aggregate this count right here. You see how many, I think we would just do count. How many males and females? Well, let's say go again. Visually, we can say, okay, there's 1 male, 2 males, 3 males. We can make a new summary table with this. Okay, so for males, there's 3 males, and for females, there's 3. So how do we go from this to that? Well, we can do the aggregation by people, and we can sum parties. So in code, this would be our df dot group by, we can pass in the column name, the key, people, and let's say it's a party. So we want to do the sum here, or the count. Oh, actually I did that wrong. That would be the key value party sum. And that's how we would get from this table to that summary table. Well, with the group by, we can also use the .ag. We can let's apply multiple aggregations at once. So there's a power in that. Let's say you want the sum of revenue and the mean of price. So if I had price right here as another column, right, let's say for each category, so it's A here, there's B here, there's 2 C's, there's 1 D right there. Okay, if I want to do an aggregation on the category key and I want a sum of revenue and I want a mean of price, with the .ag lets you to do this. So we can use here in code df.group by, okay, we want the key, which is the category key, and what you want to do is .ag. .ag, you can actually pass in a list with key value. So let's say the key value is revenue, and you want the sum. You also want price, and you want the mean. So that's what give you a table, a summary table. Well, now we're going to look at pivot table and the powers of the pivot table. Well, it allows us to work like an Excel. Familiar if you're familiar with Excel, where you can do an index, rows, columns, and aggregations function. So let's say you want to create a new pivot table where we want the index to be the category, the column to be the revenue, or actually the platform, and you want the values inside to be revenue. And the function you're putting is sum. How does that look like? In code, you can do df.pivottable for the index has value. Let's say this column, category, and columns is platform, and we have values as revenue, and the ag function is the sum. So that would be your function. Now the next one on the list is the cross tab. Cross tab allows you for a quick way for a frequency table. Counts other combinations of these two columns. Let's say I wanted a count of the revenue and the price. For example, it would be pd.crossTab, pass it in df, actually I'll do it down here for space, df category, oh we're doing revenue, okay let's do revenue, and then df we want the price. So that would give us a small summary table of the counts for these two columns. And we'll see that in code. Code, let's look at the df.info. All right, so this is our data set that we're working with. Okay, now we want to group by category and get the sum of revenue. And we're going to do the reset index. We're going to see what that gives us. Reset index essentially gives us this on the side right here. Now, if we don't use it, this is actually really cool. Let me just show you. df.group by. I want to group by the category and get revenue dot sum. This is what happens when we don't reset index. See, we don't have this numerical value right here. All right, moving on to the ag function, we want to aggregate multiple. Okay, we have a category summary. We want to get the sum of the revenue and price mean. So what's our mean price? Okay, for amino acid, this category, our mean price is 35. And for vitamin, that's our revenue, the sum of revenue, and that's our mean price. Now let's create a pivot table. A pivot table, we have an index category, columns, our platform, the values with the revenue, and the ag function would be the sum. Now let's see what that actually looks like. Well, here, our columns, like I said, is our category columns. And our columns, are our platforms. So these are the platforms. And our values in here is the revenue. And what do we do it by? We summed up the revenue. So for amino acid is our index category, and our column, that is a sum of revenue. Now let's look at vitamin. That is a category, and here it's column, here's its revenue. Now let's do cross tab frequency. We see how many of each we have. So for our category and our platform, this is the count. So for amino acid, that our category, this is our count. For amino acid in Walmart, that is our count. And for amino acid in this platform, that is our count. Very useful. And that's all for today's video. We went over group by, ag, pivot table, and cross tab. Thank you for watching.